had a couple thoughts. Figured I'd bring them, post them on here. So the right side of the political spectrum, uh, claims that I need to be terrified that people are gonna come take my guns. The left wants me to be terrified that I might get shot or my kids might get shot when I send them to school, for example. The right wants me to be terrified that women are out there killing babies. The left wants me to be terrified that, for example, my daughter wouldn't be able to decide, to have an abortion, for example. The right wants me to be worried, wants me to be terrified about social economic collapse. Uh, you know, the left wants me to be terrified about climate change. In fact, that's actually pretty much the words used by a young girl named Greta. Now, I doubt she's going to watch this video, but I hope she does. So I'm just going to pretend I'm talking to her. Here's the thing about all that stuff, it's all true. All those things could happen. We shouldn't be terrified, though. If you've ever been in a fight with somebody who is truly trying to severely harm you, not the same as your behind the bar, back schoolyard bullies, not that, where you show up a little bit of resistance and then they back off. I'm not talking about that. If you've been in a legitimate fight, or shot at, or knife fight, or something like that, you know that you have to have a healthy fear, but you have to stay calm. You can't get terrified. You can't let that fear engulf you. You'll react too extremely to the wrong thing and in the wrong way, and you have to stay calm to make the perfect decision because there's no do-overs. And you have to make a preparation. The way you're going to handle yourself in a fight is the way you trained, right? That's the way I feel about these things. We should not be terrified. We should be scared, sure. I mean, these are big things, they're real things, and they're all true. Now, Greta, here's the thing. You deserve a voice. And I'm very happy you were out there. It took a lot of guts. And in many ways, you're right. Let me bring up another thing maybe you should be terrified of. The Communist Manifesto. Read it. And then look at, what the leaders on your side of things are saying. And look at the historic examples of people who followed that. Read Mein Kampf, which is weird because he was against Marxism, but a lot of the same stuff. They want you to be afraid. They wanted their people to be afraid. They would jump right into the gulags. They would, they would elect them into power, even though they had a racist rhetoric. I mean, how do you think Trump got in? Because people were terrified about their rights being taken away and such. So I think that you should think about that. Also, I work in the oil field. I'm not high enough in the oil field where I care if it sticks around because I own a trucking company. I can go do other things. So and I do other things all the time. Right now, I'm running groceries, so I'll go haul whatever. I'm not losing money from the oil field if it goes away. But I've been out to lunch with some of these high ups, and they actually have, they hire the best teams of scientists to find out exactly how much time do they got, how much can they get away with. They don't want the world to end. They're smarter than that. They're a lot smarter than you think. They're not just, oh, okay, let's make money right now, just sacrifice the entire planet. That's not what they're thinking. Another thing is Another thing is they're the same people that own the biggest wind farms. If you pay attention, they're not actually fighting the green energy. They own wind farms. They own solar sites. I mean, I went to an Excel site the other day. I had to get, in order to put solar panels on my house, I had to get Excel's permission, and they had to be attached to the grid. I couldn't be off grid, and big problems with that in the Las Vegas area. They're not fighting green energy. They're fighting you being able to make energy in your backyard. They're fighting you being able to be not dependent on them. That's what they're fighting. They're the same people that own this stuff. Shit, they own the banks and everything. They don't care if their energy is coming from oil or nuclear or anything. They own it. They own it all. They just want it that you got to get it through them. That's all they want. They don't want you to be able to make it in your backyard. Look up the company Wind Cell Receptor. There's a reason why that's not lifted off the ground yet. My cousin and I did a little work for them, and those guys. It's only so much I can say, but there's a reason why that didn't lift off the ground. You'd be able to put one of those in your backyard and power half of your neighborhood. And it's just sitting there in some stupid warehouse in Boulder City, Nevada, doing nothing. We shouldn't be terrified. We shouldn't allow ourselves to be terrified because we're going to make the wrong decision. We've got a lot of important decisions as a culture to make right now, but they should not be made out of terror. We will make the wrong decision. Our rights will be infringed on. If we allow ourselves to act in terror for our environment, we will hand over rights, and then our demise will happen a lot sooner than the erosion of our habitat. So we have to make the right decisions, and it's not just as simple as having all these systems in place. I mean, yeah, worry about your own carbon footprint. Worry about that. That's the thing. That's what you should do. But you know, there's lots of other things that people are trying to bring in that involve a lot of high amounts of governmental control, and in the name of something that you know we think we know everything about, but we really don't. I mean, as long as you can't actually give me definitive proof that carbon dating works, you can't tell me that the actual understanding of the carbon emissions in decades past is actually accurate. We don't actually know that. And we know that we're doing stuff wrong. We know that we're eroding our environment, but the rates are not as definitive as many science-based people. It's the best guess you got, yes, but it really isn't as definitive and accurate as they want you to think. Uh, you know, so just do what you can do, but please don't be giving people power in the name of anything, really. Don't be giving more people more power. Worry about you. And then try to improve your culture and get other people to worry about it. That's what we should be doing. So, but when people are acting out of terror, they hand it over. They want some big magic fix right now, and they hand stuff over. And next thing you know, you're in a bunch of gulags, and 22 million people have been murdered in the name of for the greater good. Who's deciding that? Sure as hell isn't science that decides that when those things happen. Look at your history. Okay, read your history books.